And let's get ready to roll.
Yeah, no doubt about that. UCLA looks like they're going to come out here with a base 2-2 zone, and they're going to utilize the keeper up top inside the keeper zone, an immune player here, and they're going to utilize him to chase down the initial pass behind the hoops, and that's a quick turnover for UCLA on their first defensive stance. I'm sure they enjoyed that one. That was pretty easy. Don't you love it when it's just, they just give it to you a little bit?
I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt.
Harvard, team that has been, they lost the game, but it was big,
I heard
big
about
news.
that Texas game. If you watched it on Pitch 2 yesterday, 1, I'm jealous. 2, I'm going to catch the VOD later.
If you did not hear, Harvard was able to not only pack the zone, looks like UCLA's on a drive here, takes the shot, and it goes just wide on the right-hand side. UCLA tracking that one down. Harvard's got the angle on the attack, and it's pulled them apart. There we go. Harvard shooting at a hoop that was torn down.
Felix Bolo going for that shot, but it just went down.
That's tough. He is definitely looking, they're looking for a call to say that there was a chaser who just fell into the hoop and dislodged it while they were trying to shoot. And Ethan is saying the same thing. I would be livid about that for sure.
If that's what happened, certainly.
Yeah, Harvard, like we were saying before, was able to pack the paint and really play really well against the University of Texas, the front runners coming into this tournament, and be tied at Snitch on pitch, and then Texas did what Texas does.
Off just a bit low. It's rolling.
Scored 7 straight.
Beater trying to guard. Recovered by number 4, Mason Krug. His first year. Yellow card for number 12, Ben Sebastian, a senior. Yeah, UCLA, the US Quidditch finalists. They were eked out by Cal Quidditch. I believe there was no Northeast Regional this year, but Harvard's still making waves in the Northeast.
And there is a scrum for the quaffle. Both of the keepers, one of the keepers for, UCLA's keeper tackled Harvard's keeper, Polk. He's down right now, and he may have got rolled up ankle-wise on that tackle, but there also may be a call coming here for contact after the ball was released.
Yeah.
Because the Harvard keeper hit the ground and rolled while the ball was inside the keeper zone for UCLA about 2 seconds later. So there's no call. He's just going to sub him out and a block up front. Yeah. Number 42 for UCLA with the block.
That's Michael Navarro.
Now there's a conversation about whether that ball went through the hoop.
Yeah. As I was saying earlier, Harvard, in spite of not having regional, racked up some titles this year. They were the Knights Cup champs as well as the Division I champions for the Massachusetts Quidditch Conference, and they are 7-time Ivy League champions. So while relatively new seeing them at nationals recently, they are quite the impressive squad.
Yeah, MQC, one of the biggest tools for teams up north to work on their skill level. UCLA retreating back. Can they use their one reset without getting called for it? They will.
Yeah, they were pressured.
And while they are being pressured, as soon as they come across, don't worry, the Harvard defense will be right on them. Again, they do not have a reset.
Yeah, Krug bringing it up again for UCLA.
UCLA waiting to get back at full strength. They have a beater in the box right now. There's a throw up front. It's a 1-for-1. And now Harvard's beater tracking out there, which means that there's space open, and that might be, yes, it will be. That was textbook. The keeper for Harvard slid into the side of UCLA's chaser's leg. It actually made contact. Luckily, didn't roll her up. I wish we had a camera just for Krieger right now, because a lot of you guys can't see him on camera, but they're living it up right now.
Yeah.
All the way out at mid-pitch, coming to inspect what's going on here.
I love the team spirit with the blue hair, too.
Always representing. And we have field manager Soleil going out there to try and sort something out here. Miles is getting pulled off the pitch. The drama continues, Marcelo.
Looks like we need a ref somewhere else.
Miles is out. We need a new AR, and we do have one. He's a Tufts player?
No, that's University of North Carolina.
Oh, there you go, the UNC Tar Heels.
Yeah, I had the pleasure.
By the way, baby blue is back.
You know, I actually think hot pink is the color of the year. Between the Breakers, Ann Arbor, and Anteaters Forever.
Just really disappointed with the small showing from mint green. You know, Nice shot attempt there, and Harvard comes up with their first goal of the day, and now we got another injury, and it looks like a beater got hit in the head.
Oof.
Harvard's got a player. Oh, Harvard's keeper is bleeding. That's why he got called out over there. His head coach just asked him, is he still bleeding?
All right, injury sub coming in.
Yeah,
from
injury
UCLA.
Substitution coming in. He's breathing heavy,
That's
but
number
he is up.
46, Justin Van Leiten. If you've been watching UCLA any amount of time, that's a name pretty recognizable to you. Pretty lethal with a bludger, very quick.
And a potential huge loss for them if he cannot continue.
No,
here.
Van Leiten is coming in.
Sorry.
Player coming out is 18, Sammy Owing, I believe.
Is it number
No,
10
that's
or
number
18?
10, sorry.
Yeah.
Juan Hernandez.
And I think Juan got caught up in the beater pressure from Harvard as they were trying to take down the 2-2 zone from UCLA, basically simultaneously while getting the shot off.
All right, the injury sub is happening, sure, but why the ref chatter?
I think they're trying to determine whether or not the contact to his head was illegal. Or if it was incidental. And the trainer's going to come out and check out Juan. He's going to walk out the field. Good to see that for sure.
All right, we're going to start with the quaffle in UCLA's keeper zone.
Hey, set up, Harvard. You're coming up to the spot.
Mason Krug again bringing it up for the Bruins.
Rotating to the far left-hand side over there. A lot of space between the ball carrier and that chaser on the back left-hand side.
Yeah, that's Kalen Ta.
And good chase down there. Man, UCLA's got a lot of speed at the chaser position. So. Nice shot attempt. It almost hooked in. Oh, man. If you couldn't see from home, that was a curve basically thrown, and the ball was spinning in the 360-degree axis, but it went just a little high. Did a great job of curving to prevent any potential keeper hand from being able to block it, but maybe next time. That's a shot that if you're a coach, you're just kind of like, I'll live with that one. You know?
Next time.
The beaters for UCLA are in a staggered formation, meaning they're side by side. There's not a stack in terms of being top-bottom. Harvard taking their time. They're staying relatively close together so that they can overload on that one side and overwhelm that one individual beater.
Yeah, Jessica Lee, the beater for Harvard, trying to make something happen.
He's still on Broom, and he was able to get that pass off, and now Harvard is retreating backwards. I will also point out something that was key, and we'll see if they're going to call him off Broom here. One thing that we saw, that pass that initially went beyond the back side of the play over there on the far right-hand side beyond the hoop line, it simultaneously was met with a beater throw from Harvard because they knew the beater had to turn his head, and that's understanding what your opponent does. If you know that your opponent uses their beaters to attack the chasers who go behind the hoops, as soon as they throw the quaffle back there, the quaffle is now bait to get the beater out of the play.
And I have zero doubt in my mind that a team coached by Ethan Sturm did not do extensive video research into UCLA.
Wonder if UCLA is going to change that up. Even though they did survive it, the beater's throw was errant and it missed the UCLA beater. But if they're going to keep doing that, it's going to open up what people call the banger action, which is driving in and you're basically using the beater as a screen to drive in and get a wide open shot on the hoop. We'll see if they do it.
UCLA coaches on the pitch.
And Christian Krieger going around here and making sure everything's lined up and locked up 100%.
Bottle Chandra right behind it. Familiar sight for any US Quidditch fan.
They are trying to make sure, I think they're trying to make sure that Harvard doesn't get a free reset when play restarts, because they want them to come across, and then they're going to use the fact that they have two bludgers, because the beater for Harvard is in the back right-hand side of the pitch, way out of position. Yeah. They're going to use one beater to seal that person out there to force them to throw back to the beater, and then one of the other beaters is going to run up and try and attack the quaffle. The beater's already right there. He's at mid-pitch. Yeah, they're going to seal that beater off and try and get that throw back. This could be a turnover here in a second.
Let's see.
Smart move. She's retreating backwards. Yeah, see, that was the question. Yeah. They did a good job of asking, because that's technically a double reset.
She didn't pass the keeper line, did she?
but she threw it to somebody who was behind it.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So they were asking if that initial time that she went behind the line before the stoppage of play was the
Maybe
reset
the ref
that they'd
thinks
used.
she was pressured because
Yeah.
Van Lyten was headed towards her. But,
Yeah.
oh well. On we go.
Nice beats by 27. Already back inside the center hoop over there waiting for that action. She did not choose to throw on that play. Interesting.
Yeah, back in the hands of Felix Bulwa. He launches it.
Nice
Oh,
curve.
nice
Oh,
beat.
man, I thought the screen worked there for a second. The beater was coming in to attack the UCLA beater while the chaser was cutting back on top away from him, and it would have cleared him out of the play and opened up a lane towards the hoop.
All right, we got another stop.
By the way, score's still 10-0, right?
I believe so. Hey, score table, can I get the score, please? Yeah, that is correct. Only one goal for
We've got more cards
For
than
Harvard so
goals
far,
in this
yeah.
game so far. Each team has got a card now. UCLA had one on their beater. Harvard is going to get one on theirs. You know you're trying to get away with some high-level stuff when your beaters are the only ones getting carded. Usually it's the chasers for illegal contact. Oh, by the way, highly efficient water distribution system for a team is paramount to success.
Oh, my God.
Hydrate or dihydrate, guys. And a beautiful
And it
goal.
goes in.
Oh, and he's down
That's
there
number
first.
4, Mason Krug from UCLA, but
He's
Harvard
down.
already turning it around. Ian,
Mason Cruz is down over here after taking 2 massive hits on that play. Harvard doing a great job of reacting instantly.
Ian
into-
Palk just took off down the pitch.
When you're a keeper and you recognize the beater play is all behind you, it's time to just
Turn
run
on
and
the
hope you don't
gas.
get thrown out. Yeah. At this point, I think the UCLA coaching staff is just walking out there
I
to have a
mean-
good time.
They're getting their steps in, that's for sure.
And Mason may get away with not having to sub out on this play unless
I don't know, we'll see.
because the stoppage is for a potential penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And Mason may get away with being able to stay on the field.
All right, we're just about 5 minutes now.
Harvard's goal is no good. And they're going to say he was beat before.
All right.
We'll point this out. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for you like that, but it was the right mentality,
Mhm.
especially
Oh,
when you
no,
know
for
you've
sure.
got good subs. There's no reason not to go 110% and possibly come up with a goal for your
Right?
team.
All right.
They are going to sub Mason out.
Yeah, he's going to be replaced with number 25, Suleiman Bentaleb, a third-year keeper.
And Mason did a great job on that drive, taking advantage of the beater play and taking the contact to get to the hoop there. Because he technically shot that while he was being tackled and
Yeah.
falling backwards, and it still went bar down, hashtag bar down, for those of you who are fans of that shooting technique.
All right, let's get the show on
For
the
those,
road.
I guess we can explain what bar down is for
You
the
go
folks
for
at
it.
home. It's a soccer term utilized to understand where to aim when you're shooting at a goal, but it works in Quidditch as well. You aim at the bottom portion of the hoop and it flips the ball down and it goes through like 99% of the time.
Exactly.
And it makes it difficult to block because it changes direction once it makes contact with the hoop. 2 bludgers for UCLA and 1.5 here.
Yeah,
1.5
Michael
is-
DeVaro bringing it up for UCLA. But
Just
it's
one-
recovered by Harvard.
Oh, that's tough. 1.5 generated a no bludger situation for UCLA. They just couldn't capitalize on it. And
Leo
now quick
Freed
beater
now with
sub.
the quaffle for Harvard.
Number 7, Paul here, the keeper, not the primary ball carrier. Behind the left-hand hoop over here.
Yeah, no UCLA players anywhere near him.
And let's see.
Oh, never mind. Number 2 spotted him.
Leah just made the deadly error of trying to beat a keeper inside the zone. Oh, Paul just took a shot to the head.
I mean,
on
she
that
was going
catch.
for the quaffle.
Exactly, yeah.
That's number 2, Caitlin Ta.
Caitlin Todd, great defensive effort on that one. Staying aware, only going for the ball, and took out Paul. This is a no bludger situation. And a tackle, a beautiful one. Hopefully they're not going to call back contact on this one. UCLA still under heavy pressure.
Yeah, that's Maddie Johnson.
Maddie Johnson with some slick
Nice
moves.
shot.
Yes. By the way, that was all with no bludgers for UCLA. Maddie Johnson with some nice cuts. She kept reading. She scraped across the front of the formation and kicked it over to her chaser because everybody was focused on her because, you know, see ball, get ball. See ball, get ball is like a very difficult thing for Quidditch players.
For sure.
Once again, the staggered look for the UCLA beaters. They're going side by side, so basically one is in charge of left, one is in charge of right in terms of playing defense. Back up top, a slightly compressed diamond because you want those passing lanes to be a little short, especially if you're going to be that close to the beaters.
Yeah, Felix Bull.
A throw at the quaffle player. Oh, Polk with a nice one-handed grab and tackled and able to get the assist out of it.
Nice.
Oh, my goodness. Great focus by Polk on that play. And that's, he's been having a rough day out here. He got one goal taken away. He got hit in the head twice already. He knows it. He knows his playing style. That's why he wears that helmet.
Bentaleb is bringing it up now for UCLA.
And Bentaleb got tackled on that last possession when it was a no-bludger situation by Harvard. Let's see if he's a little bit more wary when he approaches. UCLA with 2 bludgers. Rotating to the right-hand side, they use a big diamond out here. You can see the huge space in between the chasers, and they'll use that screen up front to protect against potential
That's
throw.
Joe Tarczynski beating with Justin Van Lyck.
Oh, Joe bobbles the ball, and Harvard may have a turnover. No, Joe picks it back up, and he's on the drive.
Jarrett driving for UCLA.
Nice.
And he scores.
Benefits of being tall. Even when people are pulling you down, your arm is still hoop height. Great play from UCLA. They've been taking a lot. I'm thoroughly shocked at how physical Harvard is. You would not suspect a bunch of kids at an Ivy League school.
I mean, that's just your Texas mentality. Like, I know kids that go to elite schools, and it is cutthroat.
You're right. That's actually a great point. You love to see it. You love to see the physical contact out there.
Yeah, Felix Bulwa bringing it up again for Harvard.
And a dodged beat, and now this is a no-bludger situation for Harvard in the worst way possible. Let's see if they can work out of it. They have. They are away from both of the beaters. Didn't hear anybody yell 2 hands on that play, but hey, he came up with a catch. And they just flipped it. Wow. Harvard back in this one with 2 bludgers. They just flipped bludger control in the middle of an offensive possession.
That.
And an errant throw, and it looks like Maddie Johnson's going to come up with that one.
Just the instinct to turtle. Excellent. We knew there was no one behind her, but she didn't. That's the way to go.
Got to give credit to Harvard sticking with it beater-wise. Started off that play. Somebody jumped over a beat. The ball rolls way out of position. And instead of going for the far one, they're like, no, we're just going to take the ones the other guys have.
All right, Bentaleb bringing it up again for UCLA. Looks like he might be getting ready to pass it off.
Let's see if they run that screen action again when they try and make that pass. Bentaleb making sure he mixes it up a little bit, trying to draw the attention of that beater.
Yeah, his beater ready to jump.
No. He's got to be. Oh, that. Yeah, I was going to say, he tried to play through that one, but he couldn't.
Recovered by Tarczynski, though, and it's enough to get UCLA an opening to score.
Is that Mason or is it someone? No, it's number 30, not number 4. Mason has not reappeared out here since he went down.
That is Nick Levers. Sorry, a little glare on my screen.
Nick Lever with a great position. He stayed out of the beater's range, but also was a great offensive threat positioning-wise. And when he touched that ball, he exploded towards that hoop. You'd like to see it. Hopefully Mason's all right. He hasn't come into the game since he took that nasty hit earlier.
Got to take care of yourselves.
Compressed 2-2 zone from UCLA. Harvard's all the way in the back. They've rotated and walked the ball behind the hoops. Shot taken. That's goaltending.
That's why. Ooh, yeah.
The shot was in there. It didn't go all the way through, and a chaser pushed it through the other side. That is goaltending. The only person who's allowed to reach through the hoop for everybody at home is the keeper.
If you don't have a green headband, don't do it.
I will point out, goaltending, there is no card associated with it.
You just get, but you got a goal scored on you instantly. Like
if it was sitting on the rim, and honestly, there's no telling what would have happened because that's always the possibility, right? Where you're like, man, you never know if it's gonna go through or not. But if it's kind of iffy, you hit it a little bit, See if you can get away with it.
Wouldn't know, never got carded my entire career. Anyway, Bentaleb bringing it up again for UCLA.
I got carded 3 times today.
Yikes. It's that big man bias.
I try not to do it. My teammates say that I have a complex now. It's not even a bias anymore.
You can't let the refs get in your head. Bentaleb, a little. Nice recovery by Harvard, but no, UCLA's. Ooh.
And Bentaleb may have been taken down from behind. But he did keep his focus. He kept his passing arm free, and he knew where the ball needed to go. He just didn't get enough power on it, Harvard, once again, their compression inside the keeper zone is very, very important.
We got a UCLA, I'm sorry, a Lost Boys cheering section for UCLA over here.
Best chant I've heard today, hands down, without question, when we were playing the Las Vegas Invaders. I think a couple of players from Philadelphia Freedom came over and they were like, "Ooh, the ball," which is from the little green man from Toy Story. So
oh my God, I love that. It's adorable.
Off of an interception, of course.
Of course.
Oh,
Ooh,
great
big
deflection
block.
from Harvard.
Bentley beats.
But the quaffle, and right into his hands there, he bobbles the bludger just a little bit, and he beat off Broom.
Bentley recovers it again though. Oh
wow.
Man, who is that beater?
That's a great one.
Nikolai Jung, killing it.
Nikolai.
He goes by Nick. Nick.
Oh my
it.
goodness.
And yeah,
absolutely perfect. Number 1 for UCLA drives in, and while he's midair, he back flicks it to his teammate on the left-hand side. Great deception.
Newhouser back in for
Ethan
Harvard.
Ethan Stroman is a little upset over here about some call. It looks like Nikolai may be tired. After that amazing display of beating, he is going to go to the sideline.
Well-earned rest.
Yeah, you can tell you're ripping it when you hit somebody's broom from between their legs on a beat.
Freed passes it off to... Well, he gets it back.
Oh, we got a tight beater zone here.
Ooh.
Yep.
Beat. Recovered by Newhouser, though.
Are they going to call that clear? They are not. The quaffle is still loose, and there's a collision of 2 players, but there's no hand up for advantage, so it must have been a clean slide. I will say the benefit of having that pseudo Baylor zone when you have control, if you didn't see it there is a chaser on the outside hoop, a chaser on the little hoop on the left-hand side, and then 2 beaters in between them. Don't forget, beaters can throw their bludgers up and actually block quaffles from going in. Some teams utilize that as a way to be a middle chaser sometimes. But I will point this out. When you are playing that type of zone, you don't have to think in terms of, like, who am I tackling? It's wherever. It's see ball, get ball, which sometimes, gets you in trouble. Sometimes, a lot of success out of it. Maddie Johnson back out here again. See if she can
Passing
cook
it back
something
and
up.
forth between her and Cooper Jarrett.
See if Cooper can make another dime pass like we've seen here today. He's doing a great job of spotting people on those hoops.
Little fake out action from him,
And he's
too.
looking for Maddie. Oh, she was in there a little bit.
She's
She's
gonna
still
drive.
in there.
Oh, back to, well, John's not quite there.
Cooper still got the ball. Nice backspin on that.
Still trying, ooh, that initiated a little high. Ooh.
It's 100% about to be net contact inside the keeper
They're just
zone.
waiting for...
Harvard has to take possession of it.
Okay, now.
They're about to bring the ball all the way back. If you're wondering what that was, both of the UCLA coaches are about to run out there.
And
They're about to hit him with a little good cop, bad cop, and it looks like Cooper may have been hurt on that contact. If you saw him on his way getting tackled, his arm was free, but he still hit the ground when he made that pass, so maybe his shoulder a little hurt there. Hopefully he's all right, and hopefully we can move on here because he's got to stay on the field.
Yeah, he's looking
He's been
all right.
doing a really good job moving the ball around. If you were wondering why that play went on for so many seconds afterwards, UCLA still had the potential to come up with the quaffle and score it, and the refs wanted to give them a chance because they knew where the penalty was coming from. Sometimes when the refs hold their hand up, you don't know which team the penalty is for, and you just wanted to make sure that they gave them UCLA enough chance to go out there and score.
You don't want to penalize them when they're not.
And there is not a penalty on that play. Interesting. I think we all saw that net contact, so. Beater subs coming in. Actually, it looks like it might be, yes, it is a gender rule change here. They're going to send in a male beater.
You got Nick Jung back in.
And a female chaser. Yeah.
The chaser for Harvard is Anna Blanchfield.
And Anna's been doing a good job of making sure she holds on to that ball. She was a part of the group that was able to track back and maintain possession when they were down a beater in the box.
Yeah.
And a missed throw, UCLA leaving an opening. And there was a pass attempt
that's
to 59.
Gonna go off pitch.
Yeah, that's off pitch for sure. Throwbacks on the way here, and Nikolai is back into the game here. Let's see if we can get another flurry of beating like we saw earlier. UCLA coming up the field despite no chasers being there.
Yeah, Cooper's got the quaffle.
Nikolai held on to that one way too long, and they're not. Are they going to call him for
Van
the illegal
Lyten
throwback?
is so good at creating chaos and getting control back.
Right. He did a good job. He held his fist up, and then as soon as he touched the ball, he beat Nikolai out. Nikolai was too slow on the draw, and it created a changeover of bludger control. And that, that's textbook. 59, going for the ball, making a great hustle play, but dove directly
Yeah,
into the
you
path
can't
of
just
a
fall on
chaser.
top of
No.
somebody like that.
I always contemplated the rule should be if you are able to gain full possession of the quaffle and then somebody falls over the top of you, you shouldn't be called for it. Because if you dove on it and you gain full possession, clearly you dove with enough expedience and somebody else did. I'm just saying.
I don't ref and I don't write the rule book.
That's why I shouldn't be in charge of it. That's why I should not be a part of gameplay.
We all have our skills.
And this is the second card for Harvard here today. They had a beater in the box initially, and now they've got number 59 out here.
Yeah, that's Anna Luisa Nicolau.
Anna Luisa Nicolau.
Sorry,
She's back
Nicolay. Sorry, Nicolay. Sorry, I
Nicolay
misread.
had to tag back in here. Harvard's got some big beaters out here.
Time check.
Number 4 is trying to circle around here. If you see him on your camera, number 4 is a beater out there. He's trying to circle around behind the UCLA beaters, and they ward him off a little bit.
That's Daniel Gottsman.
And let's see if they apply that pressure as soon as they try and cross the hoop line or get past the keeper zone. Harvard doing a good job of as soon as somebody runs towards them, making them waste their energy by throwing. And a missed
Blocked
beat.
that. No, it's not even a block. He blocked, or a miss. He blocked Van Lyten's beat. That was beautiful.
And that turns into a turnover. UCLA on a run here. Only one person with a chance to make
Mason
that tackle.
Kong back, or Krug back, and making waves and goals.
Mason is back into the game. Ian Skura is the get-back coach for Harvard. He went out there and he pulled Ethan. And it looks like there is a timeout. That is a timeout.
I don't think that's Ian Skura.
Oh, I thought it was Ian. My bad.
I mean, it is certainly somebody in a Pandas jersey, but no.
Maybe they're playing right now.
Ian's a little taller and blonder, I think.
That's true, blonder. I have no idea who that is. I am sorry to the get-back coach of the Harvard bench. Shout out to you for doing your job.
All right.
Stop Ethan from getting the card. But they have called a timeout.
All right.
They're probably not happy with their last 3 offensive possessions. A lot of the time, they're rotating to the right-hand side. They know what's going to happen now, right? Because UCLA is using the same system. They have bludgeon control. But what they're not doing is taking the space. And it's – if you want to put out the fire, sometimes you got to get in it. And if you want to go out there and you want to score, you got to get closer. When your beaters create space, you got to get closer. Chasers have to understand they are a part of making the job easier for the beater. And that means you got to be in the beater's range sometimes because they want to throw.
And then they throw and they don't have a bludger anymore.
Exactly.
It lets somebody else make something happen. Yeah. Sometimes you go.
Be a great teammate, not a good one.
Yeah. Harvard taken back to the pitch, and we'll get ready to roll again.
And it's good to see Mason out there again. He went out there and he scored that goal pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Great block on that beat, though, on that last possession. They couldn't. Too bad they couldn't materialize anything out of that. And he blocked it towards his own beaters, too, so that was tough. That's tough to not come with a goal out of that one. And the legendary White Pants here behind us.
Andrew Canto, hanging out. I'm sure.
Got to work with him earlier today. It's a lot of fun. Shout out Anteaters Forever, and shout out to the Spider Knights. Once again, Spider Knights, a huge part of keeping college Quidditch alive in Florida because they brought the UCF kids to nationals with them.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know Cat 5, another Florida community team, brought Florida Gulf Coast University students.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love to see a lot of Texas State players here, even though their team qualified for nationals. That was a beautiful goal.
Beautiful Harvard
actually
goal.
got touched by multiple people on the way. And
team goal for sure.
Yeah. UCLA applying that pressure.
Cooper Jared bringing it up for UCLA.
I've never seen a team be able to apply beater pressure, and now Cooper doing a great job. Oh my gosh.
Beautiful defense.
Took the contact and then was still able to
on the floor, bludgers on the floor. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Took the contact and delivered a perfect pass for us. So once again, great teammate, not good teammate. Love it. Cooper's got like 3 assists and 1 goal, and I think I call that a win for any day as a keeper, as a chaser.
For sure. All right, that's Blanchfield again with it for Harvard. And that's Nicolay.
Anna's dropping deeper into cover. She's only got a chaser on her, which is interesting.
Trying to pull apart this UCLA defense a little bit, I think.
And what UCLA's doing a really good job of, a lot of people like to take those shots, that's back contact. A lot of people like to take those shots from behind the hoop because they know that they're chasing.
Yeah, it'll end up with one of their
but
teammates.
UCLA, baseball style, running cutoff. When you got, they're running cutoff, and really they're catching Harvard by surprise, and they've gotten and generated multiple transition goals off of that. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun. Big brain plays.
I'm just, honestly, with this stoppage, just kind of enjoying the mountains behind the players.
Yeah,
like,
once again,
can't
distracted.
get over it. I've been here 2 days, and it's still almost as beautiful as the Quidditch we've been watching this weekend.
Scores 80-40. UCLA is up
Yeah.
on Harvard.
We're definitely closer to 20 minutes than 15 now, I imagine. But the folks at home know for sure because they're the ones who got the time on their screen.
Beaters are rotating around. Harvard once again going to that far right-hand side because they want to get the
Leo
ball to
Freed
Anna.
shoots it to Nicolay, and yeah, right in the hoop. Beautiful.
They were staring and the funny part about that is you knew UCLA knew that's where that ball was going, and they still got there a little late. Anna doing a great job once she cleanly caught that, lifting it above her head, out of somebody's range, waiting for them to try and finish their move, and then getting at that clear hoop. That kind of patience, when you know that there are beaters bearing down on you, invaluable for any offense. Harvard's beaters are way out of position here.
Yeah,
Let's see if they
Johnson
can make
looking for a lane.
and a bobbled catch.
Mason Krug trying to recover it, though, but he's beat. A little bit of hustle from Sean King, but I think that's going to be a Harvard ball. There it is.
All of the UCLA chasers are now beat.
Yep. Bola again bringing it up for Harvard. Harvard now has Polk on the side. Everybody else.
Oh,
Lined
man,
up.
beautiful move. Protected the ball and got deeper into their territory. Forced the chaser to come towards the beater.
We're at 18 minutes now.
UCLA now switching back to two chasers up top, now using the keeper.
Krug.
Pass across, good movement. Anna was there, flicked it forward,
Ooh.
and Mason dove in front of a chaser's legs, and they're going to call.
They
Harvard's
are
just going to
calling
retreat
anything.
back, yeah.
All right, Krug.
UCLA applying that
Driving,
pressure.
shoots, scores.
They're trying to say that the ball went off the side of the hoop
Ah.
because the hoop turned sideways. Harvard is trying to get that call, but they're not going to.
Other refs with a different angle
Yep.
saying good, so.
Almost at the 19-minute mark here.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing a lot of back and forth. I'm seeing a lot of high-level plays, but all the goals are still going to UCLA because they're being more physical when they get into the offensive territory. Great hustle there,
Yeah.
and that's interesting.
Yeah, UCLA's roster just a little deeper, so you know when
Oh,
you're
poked out of his hands.
Van
Polk-
Lyten,
Polk doing a great job of once again getting aggressive, driving in towards the hoop. Somebody swatted his hand down and got the ball loose. And as a matter of fact, between you and me, they almost kicked the ball into the hoop by accident.
All right, Harvard beater in the box. Not what you want this close to the 20-minute mark, but
It's safe to say Harvard will not be going into the box without not having bludger control here.
there's 3 cards. It's 3 cards now. Second yellow for number 5, Daniel Schaefer.
And Daniel coming over to show his number. I think he got a little bit too aggressive and dove in front of somebody there. So we'll see if they give the ball back to Harvard. Based off when the whistle was blown, you could make an argument that Polk had not had the ball stripped out of his hand beforehand. So
Well, refs will figure that out.
UCLA with bludger control. And like I said before, it is so uncommon to see beaters that run 20 yards ahead of their chasers, and somehow their chasers still get there in enough time to be able to take advantage of the score, because there's been no hesitation. When it is time for offense, UCLA is going straight for those beaters. They go for the point chaser. They clear out as many chasers as they can, and Harvard's just not recycling quick enough because there's no disruption whatsoever of UCLA's attack when it comes to the beater play. And like I said, UCLA got a lot of people who are quite physical out here. We've seen Cooper look amazing out here. Maddie look amazing out here. A lot of people who are willing to take that contact for the sake of the ball.
Yeah, and I think
Maddie's got the ball in her hands. There you go.
I think we can certainly give some credit to their coaches, Bottle and Krieger. Were on the Gambits once upon a time, and that was also a team that was not afraid to be physical. And it's a physical game. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all.
And if you're a club coach for a college team, you know the advantage lies in the people who are willing to take the contact. So you want to get your kids, your college kids, up to snuff as quickly as possible in terms of how to attack with physicality. Great ball movement from UCLA. They are deep in the Harvard territory.
Johnson with the keeper headband now, I think. Yeah. Another UCLA goal.
And Maddie touched the ball to start the possession, and she touched it right before the goal was scored. Great ball movement. You'd love to see.
All right,
Chase
this is
to be able
the
to pull
final
that off.
possession. It's Harvard's. Blanche.
And they finally got that beat on the
Jessica
right hand.
Lee
Yeah.
making things happen, yeah.
Good hustle for the ball. They're still going to maintain possession here. Harvard still has it. They've used their reset, and now the ball is thrown to
Johnson
no one. That is
recovers
the
it for
20-minute
UCLA.
mark. Yep. Polk a little upset as he goes over to the sideline.
All right, the set score is going to be 170 since UCLA is at 100 and Harvard's at 50.
Harvard, once again, the back half of that second half of the top 20 minutes really got away from them. The offense was matching the defensive effort. The defense is still getting stops. The defense is really forcing people to go to their third and their fourth option. The first and the second one are getting shut down, but the third and the fourth option, but because UCLA is so organized, those third and fourth options are wide open when they touch the ball.
Exactly.
And they went out there and they showed probably what they're going to do on Snitch on pitch with Maddie Johnson at the keeper position out there. So we'll be interested to see. The gender match rule has moved up one,
Yes.
which requires there to be three
Players of the non-majority
yes, I was
gender.
Gonna say non-majority gender because once again, my thing is the super meta is two female beaters, but that's
Depends
my
on the team you're on, but
that's my super meta because I'm in the Southwest and I see great players like Erin McBride and Jessica Markle on a regular basis, and I can tell you right now, we played San Antonio Soldados last year. You should go watch that film if you are a beater out there, if you really want to learn how to play this game, because they shut down the Major League Quidditch team without the. Basically, there was multiple times where their chasers didn't even have to make tackles because they just made perfect throws and nobody could get bludger control off of them. They were on Team USA for a reason. You know what I mean? Jessica was on Team USA for a reason, and I'm sure McBride is on her way as well. She's really good.
I think the Pandas jerseys say it best. Focus on my accomplishments, not my gender. You put your best players on the field. You have to certainly obey the rules, but yeah.
Remember, kids, most important rule of sports: baller's ball.
All right, we're getting ready to roll. We got Freed seeking for Harvard, and for UCLA, we have Michael Navarro.
And for Harvard has to get this. They have to. And then on top of that, now that UCLA.
Oh, but coming in hot, UCLA has Ben Sebastian beating him out.
And the snitch on pitch battle definitely is in favor of UCLA. They are, once again, the more physical team. And now the beaters are out of play because of the snitch play.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to who can win one-on-ones.
Here we go.
And there you go. UCLA gets some alone time. Finally get a beat off. Freed attacking.
That's Bentleb with that nice little dunk.
Freed tried to go high on the snitch, who created space and got his shoulder. If you notice, a lot of football background guys, they go for the shoulders and the elbows because that's the full length of your arm. If they grab your elbow, you can't move your arm as much. Harvard on the attack. Polk looking for Anna. Anna's got the ball in her hands again. Another beautiful pass. They've knocked down all but one hoop for UCLA. Anna's got to score. She floats that one to Polk, and they've knocked out all the hoops. All the hoops are not available. I feel like that's a free. This is
giving me Texas throwbacks. This is giving me Round Brock knocking over the hoops throwbacks.
It's always funny to me where you see like really high-level athletes and they're just like, "Oh my God, I don't know how to play sports anymore. Oh my God, I just ran into that pole that I've known exactly where it's been the entire season." But yeah, UCLA.
I think it's the wind more than people running into, but yeah,
And
a
also,
combination.
and
maybe.
also, like we talked about this in the last game, the hoop design here on this pitch is the collapsible hoop.
Yeah.
The base has a hole in it, and you put the actual pole into the base, as opposed to there being a coupling system that binds the base to the hoop. So it's coming out, and it's actually a good thing because it prevents breakage, which is the number one thing that a lot of people suffer with when it comes to
hoop damage,
hoop damage on a regular basis. I think the important thing is we've learned here today we need a deeper locking hole in there.
Yeah, but if it's too tight, then
it'll stay to the base and break
Yeah.
just like a coupling. But the coupling is a small piece as opposed to like the actual pole being stronger.
Yeah, but like I don't know how many.
Paul with the drive and the score.
Beautiful.
Finally found a hoop to score on. By the way, UCLA knocked that one over too. So that's four hoops lost in one.
They didn't knock it. It got knocked down
That's
over
called
the course
efficiency,
of play.
ladies. That's efficient defense in my book. No, just kidding.
All right, Cooper Jared bringing it up for UCLA now.
Cooper looking for that dunk.
No, he's already given it.
He tried to snake it around there. He's
Bentaleb.
going to get wrapped up from behind.
Ooh.
And it looks like there's a snitch pull. UCLA is
Ooh, is that a
losing.
Harvard pull? Maybe?
UCLA is losing their mind. They're saying that he was off broom.
All right, well, we'll see. Lot to educate here. Because, yeah, I was also focused on quaffle play. Bentaleb was trying to get a goal on that downed left hoop.
They are trying to make sure they're a part of the conversation about the snitch pull here, Lily. They actually cannot be in the huddle, so...
Yeah, no, give him some respectful space.
Oh, man.
All right, can I get the score, please?
The drama.
All right. So it is 110, UCLA 60, Harvard, but that snitch catch would put Harvard right up there.
This would put Harvard back into this game. UCLA is standing directly in front of the hoop, so when they restart, there'll be a chaser 2 inches away from the hoops. Anna, by the way, holding it down on offense and on defense out here. She blocked the initial drive.
Yeah.
And now the center hoop is where he was in.
Okay. No catch. All right.
Tough one.
Looks like he's off broom,
Ethan's not taking that one well. And UCLA was yelling. That's what UCLA was yelling when they were running back to go tag their hoops. They were like, he's off broom, he's off broom.
Yeah. Coaches were paying attention to Seeker, even if we weren't. Or to the snitch.
And
Harvard
now,
with control and just using it to lock down the snitch.
Cooper's playing really aggressive. He's way out of the keeper zone to make sure that there's no easy drive. And now Polk is looking. Oh,
Ooh,
Polk.
big tackle, but yeah,
Harvard's
hands
got the
instantly went
pull.
up. All right, two things at once.
I'm surprised. And maybe Polk just isn't taught this or anything like that. It depends because everybody's got their own offensive scheme. Polk's driving that way. He knows that Cooper's there. He knows that Cooper's lining him up for a tackle. He didn't backspin because Cooper's momentum is already going this way, and he would have turned into a wide open box and been able to finish. But a conversation for another day. We need to focus on winning this game because Polk technically still has the ball, and they're going to call Cooper for back contact. So this may be a great swing.
Big turnaround for Harvard, yeah.
And Harvard gets the pull, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. So it's now 95 Harvard, 120 UCLA.
Freed, hustling hard. Harvard knows the job is not done, but they just got themselves back into it. Cooper is out of this game, and Polk will have the ball almost inside the keeper zone.
Let's see if Bentaleb can stop him
And
or if Polk's gonna
Harvard
get.
has bludger control. This is
Yeah, the bludger control is why they were able to lock down the snitch and get caught up. They just focused on the
Anna's
snitch.
hanging out by that hoop over there, just waiting for somebody to give her that pass. Tackle through there. Harvard's going to take out a beater.
Got a handout calling for it.
Taking out that chaser. There it is.
There
right
she
there.
is. Oh, passes it back to Polk, who's gonna
Yep.
score.
Once again, Anna
Now
already
105 Harvard.
Anna did a great job of making that read. Saw that bludger coming, knew where her teammate was on the opposite side of the field. Moving the ball back and forth, especially when you're talking about zones, is paramount to getting them out of position.
Bentaleb again bringing it up for UCLA. Justin Van Leiten with the lone UCLA beater.
110 to 105.
Or bludger, I should say.
110 to 105, our score.
Let's see. Set score is 170.
We're 6 goals away. Oh,
Bludger
great
was-
beat by UCLA.
Yeah, no, Van Lyten will like cause chaos to like try and get a goal even when they're down. A bludger.
Cooper is able to come up there and make it happen. Van Lyten's got his hand up and he's tracking back, trying to get that loose bludger
that
way out of
makes-
position. There's one beater
Big
down for Harvard
tackle,
off a
and he's
tackle.
beat. Still a great tackle from Juan Hernandez, but it's not enough to stop Harvard from scoring.
We got a long way to go.
UCLA really fighting. And like Ethan Sturm just said, if you couldn't hear it on the microphone, he said we got a long way to go on this one. So he's right. Set score is 160 for those of you watching at home. UCLA coming up. They got Matty Johnson out here and Cooper on the left-hand side. They're going to maintain those big gaps of space in between the chasers. 1.5, here we go.
Yeah,
And he
Van Lyten can pull that off
swats
for
it out
sure.
of bounds. Are they going to call that one? Cooper's on the drive, and he might have
I think-
back-to-back goals. He does. Because it was in the field of play and it was a natural motion, there will be no call
Yeah.
for knocking that bludger out of bounds. But if there was one thing, other than getting the ball in 1.5, that
It's
was
getting
perfect.
the bludger away from them, yeah.
Exactly. That was a no bludger situation created by contact.
Yeah.
But they're trying to have a conversation, I'm sure, about that play. Because that's a freak incident. He swung his hand up to try and catch that ball,
Yeah.
and it flew way out there. Once again, that's we've seen that 1.5 multiple times.
You know, yeah, like the further into bracket we go, the
They're
more I've
having
been
that conver-
seeing it.
They're-
Yeah,
Van Lyten's upset about this, and they're about to call that because it'll take the goal away.
yeah.
That's a natural motion for
Yeah.
catching. Yeah, like they're-
Yeah, he was trying to catch it, but that's not what the refs are saying, and ultimately they are the authority here.
oh man, I really hope they don't try and punish him for that. I get it. It
And
was
I
a-
don't think it's a punishment.
Yeah.
It's just how the refs see it, and they're discussing now. I mean, for me, I've seen Justin do that a ton of times, but like these refs don't have that
right.
context.
I can definitely understand how you can interpret it as like he saw the ball coming and he threw it out of play or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So. It would be a totally different, and for everybody at home, it would be a totally different story if the ball didn't roll off pitch.
Yeah.
If it rolled and it stayed about 5 yards
It was
away,
just a hard bounce.
it flew out of bounds. Like
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to explain what he was doing. Cause yeah, like you're trying to like scoop it towards yourself.
And a lot of people, if you're unfamiliar with beater play, you start low, and if they throw it any part of your body, you swing your arms up and it helps you catch. So you'll see beaters come up and their hands will be like by their knees because they want you to throw it within the realm of their arms so they can try and catch it or swat it up into the air. Harvard correcting the score. Y'all need to ask the head ref. Do not listen to
14-11, right?
the score table is being talked to by Ethan Stern, and they probably need to assess what the ref said.
So 14-11.
14-11.
All right.
That 14 is in favor of UCLA.
Yeah, they're
and
knocking
based
on
off
the
what
door.
and now we've seen Cooper really heat up in the back half of this snitch on pitch play.
Yeah.
2 more from him for the win would be nice. We'll see what happens. And Van Lyten with a great play, not punished by the way the rules are officiated. We'd like to see that.
And you say also with control, he's got his beater partner Juan Hernandez with him.
Cooper out there playing man-to-man defense, going for the tackle, trying to force that floater pass. Paul gets it back up top. That's pretty accurate. Still bobbled a little bit by 13. Mason way outside the
Bola
keeper zone.
back to pocket bounces though, but he recovers.
Oh, Paul gets a bad bludger throw.
Back to Bola, back to
Harvard does not have a
double
beater
zero
right now.
Leo
Yep.
Freed. And it's going to be a UCLA ball. Ooh, it got brisk again.
And now Harvard is in a situation they got to come up with this stop.
Yeah. And I think they can.
They've shown the ability to be able to do it consistently. It's just about they need it now.
The
more
thing
than
is that
ever in this
UCLA
game.
has control now.
Correct. I will say that Van Lyten hasn't thrown the ball back yet, so we're good for now.
Yeah.
What we've seen
Yet.
in pass, they've been driving in immediately and going for it. We'll see what happens here.
I think he's talking back to his beater partner, telling it. There it is. Ooh, and it hit the keeper.
That's still opening. The ball is still down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Okay. This is all incidental stuff here, and I totally understand how.
Yeah, Justin threw it back and it hit his keeper. But
I will point this out once again. The 1.5 worked again. The beater who was at the center hoop stepped to the right-hand side, and once again, and for everybody at home, the way you beat 1.5, they're being aggressive, you be more aggressive. You have to. You see them throw it back. That's still a beater without a ball in their hand. You got to step up a little bit. You know.
Take them out.
All right, something you don't see every day. They just took one of the hoops out of the socket and knocked it down because that's how it was before the play started.
Coleman gonna put it back up.
And AR took it out and the head ref put it back in. What a time, what a time. Welcome to Nationals, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodness.
That would be hilarious. They're like, no, you have to knock down all the hoops again. Oh, wow, UCLA.
Big stop by Harvard.
Harvard with a stop in a key situation. Van Lyten is beat, and now Harvard might be on a run here if they can get a throw.
Van Lyten's quick, though. He's going to grab that. There it is.
Beater for Harvard, number 27, doing a fantastic job on offense. Back up top.
Freed.
Shot
shoots,
taken. That's good.
Scores.
That's bar down, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag bar down again. The gap is closed to 3. The set score remains 160. Cooper's going to sub out.
He's going to be replaced by number 42, Michael Navarro.
Who was the seeker originally to start off Snitch on pitch.
Krug with the quaffle. Hands it off to Navarro.
Harvard in a very tenuous situation, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot afford.
Yeah, UCLA is 2 away.
Can't afford any penalties. Beaters are closing in
Krug
from
with
both
it again.
sides. Mason curling over the top. That's
back to
contact.
Navarro.
Navarro
Ducks,
driving.
shrugs, scores. Golden goal time for UCLA now, but Harvard's turning it around.
I was going to say the throwback from UCLA wasn't the best in the world, so it gave Nikolai a chance to run it down, but Leighton was able to get that one.
Passes it off.
That's a 1v1.
Ooh, just a little low, and it's dived on by Navarro.
And that's
Who
only
turns
possible.
around, and he's just like, there's no beaters,
Game
I'm
winner
gone.
on the way for UCLA. Let's see.
And this is a golden goal, I think.
Trying to beat multiple players. Great tackle by Polk to force the missed shot and keep Harvard alive for one more play. Oh, and the center hoop is down again.
That's the win.
If there's one group of people who have been the most injured in this game, it is the hoops. We had all 3 hoops go down on one of Harvard's offensive possessions in this game.
Bola.
And big spacing here.
Bringing
We
up
got
the
the big
quaffle,
we have big diamond action from Harvard. Let's see if they stay that way. UCLA not sending the beaters out there because there is a beater already defending the quaffle. Back up top. Block up front.
Big block. That was Bentaleb with the block.
Hands up.
Tried to go for another one. Didn't get that one, though.
Look at that. That's a beautiful
Harvard goal.
Another bar down.
All right. Again, this is golden goal for UCLA.
UCLA. And here he is. Waiting to see. Oh, there she is. Maddie Johnson and Cooper out here. This is the best scoring lineup we've seen so far from UCLA. And that's probably
if you want to finish.
Yep. Ethan is trying to get the score checked because he's come over here 3 times now to ask about where the goals are going. And then he saw the score. He saw the scorer's table accidentally give UCLA a goal. He corrected them about which side it was going on. And Krieger is over here making sure that he's not about to lose any points off here because he wants to.
Not a golden goal.
Let's see what the final verdict is here. There's a conversation. UCLA's being ushered back to their bench. Their offense is back on the field. Harvard's defense is back out here. Looks like we might be just getting ready to start this back up again.
Ultimately, I think it's for the best. If you can't prove the goals,
Exactly.
then yeah.
And it's even harder because a lot of times in Quidditch, we know the wind blows the scorecard sometimes, and it's strapped down over here on the bench, at the scores table.
Yeah.
And Cooper's got the ball in his hand with a potential for a game-winning goal against Harvard's defense.
now with it.
And Harvard doing the good job of using their keeper as a point defender. Bentaleb kicks it over to Cooper. He gets a one-handed snag. It's a beat, and Harvard is out on the run.
No.
Ooh, that one.
If you're stopping on a run like that.
Yeah, that's tough, especially if it's advantage Harvard here in a second.
I don't think it is, though.
Yeah. Any idea what this call could potentially be in a beater situation?
No, I was honestly, I was looking at the quaffle.
Right. Bensaleb did a good job of getting that middle penetration to kick that ball.
Yeah, he got in front of Bulwa, but I was ready for Bulwa to like turn on the gas and score.
Ooh, a card against UCLA, so it could have been advantage, and Harvard could have been on a fast break here. Now they have a chance to, and now the beater for Harvard has the ball in his hand. Cooper's still got to tag back in, but there's one defender in between.
Yeah,
Bulwa.
that's Bentaleb.
Yep, and Bentaleb's got a couple of tackles here today.
Yeah. But, ooh, high for Freed.
And that's one of those situations where you want somebody to dunk it. You
Yeah.
know? There's not defenders on the who's want to finish it off.
All right.
See how this goes again. Like we mentioned before, this is the best scoring lineup we've seen from UCLA today in this matchup. So, but Harvard's doing a great job.
Coming in for UCLA as well.
Harvard's beater reaction is impeccable.
Yeah, Cooper Jared gives Krug the ball.
Throw up front. Van Lyten misses.
Press, reset.
Yep. A throw at an immune beater. That's a tough one there.
Yeah.
Van Lyten tried to go for the
UCLA
tackle.
waiting to get their beaters back, taking their time. Ooh, nice
Another
hops.
misbeat.
And Van Lyten's beat.
Yeah. Throw up front. Maddie's got the ball. She's loose. She kicks it over to Cooper.
Jared.
Cooper's got nothing but chasers in front of him. Looking for the game winner. Strike back in. That's net
Fighting
contact.
for it. No good, but it's recovered now by number 4, Mason Krug. Back to Cooper Jared.
Cooper dodges a beat, gets tackled.
Down. Harvard not giving up. I love this. I love this tenacity.
The Horntails are vicious, ladies and gentlemen. You love to see that. Cooper, we thought that he was wrapped up from behind initially, but that great tackle in space behind the hoops in a game-winning situation.
I love
That's
it.
clutch.
Newhouser with the quaffle now for Harvard.
Oh, set score is 170. We've been saying 160 this whole time. My bad. That's on me. Harvard, for the first time, really operating in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Freed with it now. I think UCLA is bringing their defense up. They just want to stop, strip, and run, I think. But they're not going to be able to. Ew, nope. Yep, another Harvard goal.
That is a late throwback.
After beat. That is so, I don't like calling stuff, but.
And Van Lyten's tackled from behind. What? There are 3 situations that just happened. One, there was a tackle of a beater after they had already been beat all the way to the ground. She didn't release, and then a late throwback all the way back to the hoops, and Van Lyten gets that ball, and he's tackled from behind from the same beater. Interesting. Mason's got the ball in his hand. By the way, that last possession that we saw, that amazing defensive stance from Harvard, everybody from UCLA touched the ball. And they stopped them every single time. A mix of beater and chaser help. That is
big teamwork on both sides.
That's practice coming into play there. That's practice coming into play. That's high-quality stuff. And if the current bludger situation stands, this is a bad situation for Harvard. Van Lyten's inside the keeper zone of Harvard. Even though there's not going to be a call on that play, even though I feel like if you watch it back.
Well, here's the thing with film, right? Like, we definitely have the luxury of having all the games on this pitch film, but until we can film every pitch consistently, it's not fair.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. I totally understand that because there are like 60-plus teams here, and how many of them have played on this pitch?
Yeah.
How many of them have played on either pitch 1 or pitch 2, right?
Not that
many. And it can't
be
every single, and it's not even every single one of their games.
Yeah.
Cooper's on the drive looking for a beat. He kicks it over, and it's slightly bobbled. Harvard getting nasty again, guys.
They are not willing to give up this game.
I like
Van
this scrap.
Lyten getting some bludger control back. Ooh.
All 3 bludgers are now in the UCLA half.
Yeah. Freed trying to get past a UCLA defender. Decides to slow it down. Bulwa, Freed again.
Cooper dives at a loose quaffle, a player trying to scoop up a loose quaffle, cuts middle. Did Van Lyten get that beat off is the question.
No, I think it hit one of his teammates.
Okay, Cooper is down too. He's going to
Or maybe not. I'm not hearing a whistle. It's no good. Yeah, head ref Chris Coleman saying that the Harvard player was beat.
They're saying there's some confusion as to who was beat. And I'm sure now that we're getting – head coach Ethan Starb getting – once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's an elimination game. Everybody's been working hard this whole season.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say that's upset. He's literally asking, he's like, are you trying to tell me that shot didn't go through? And once again, technology that we got to work on as a Quidditch community.
We don't have VAR in Quidditch yet.
We need like laser readers inside of our hoops so we can be like, yeah, the ball went all the way through.
I don't trust those laser readers in soccer.
Juan with the beat on the center hoop beater. She did not dismount. She's now tackled.
That's a game ender from Navarro? Yeah.
Bradley Himes was calling the fact that Juan beat number 27 for Harvard as she did not complete the dismount procedure. And so Juan went in and tackled her to take her out of the play.
Well, whether or not they're going to count that as good, like Navarro getting airborne just in time to catch that and dunk that in was beautiful. We'll see if that's the game ender, though.
Yeah, we're sitting here waiting to see if UCLA has come out completely as the victor here. Is it for 160 or is this for the game?
This is for the game.
Okay. Because the set score is 170.
So they must be at 160 right now.
Okay, UCLA just pulled 170. My bad. You're right, Barcelos. That's why we should listen to you.
You know, don't listen to me about math. I wouldn't.
Oh, they're calling Juan for a back contact on the tackle. And that affected the play, so the goal doesn't count.
Yep.
Wow.
This game is just...
Before you know it, it'll be a tie one.
Don't say that. I mean, or do say that. I'm not...
There's no overtime. What's the problem, Barcelos? There's no overtime.
And overtime, I hate most in the world.
So it's 160, it's 160, 140, and everybody keeps checking
out the scoreboard.
160, 140, UCLA is back down to game point because the beater play won.
UCLA spent a lot of time at game point. Goodness.
That's a sign of a well-coached team because
to
be able to summon that much great defensive play, which we've seen from Harvard, and then to find multiple ways to get their offense going. Because at first we were waiting on them to see some drives going off or whatever, and now as the game has gone on, people are getting more confident with their shot and the shots going through, and that's perfect. So Harvard, another defensive stance. Juan's not in the box, so he may be.
I think
they flashed a yellow at him.
No, he's still on the pitch. They're talking.
That's not his third one. It's his second one.
Second, yeah.
Yeah.
If that, I have not been counting cards.
I think Juan got one earlier, and they're trying to have a conversation about Harvard's beater, number 27, who's been killing it out here. Amazing. She tagged back in too quickly, and Juan came over.
Yeah, Jessica Lee has been crushing it for sure.
As a guy who is a member of a team founded by a Jessica Lee, I stand with all Jessica Lees. I stand all Jessica Lees.
All right.
And Harvard's probably having a conversation about, especially since all three Bludgers are behind them, they're probably having a conversation about trying to go for a run here. Because if they can get an easy goal in transition.
See, for me, all this chatter is just like, after this game, I want to go grab lunch. I'm getting a little hungry. I've been running my mouth all day. And I don't know about you, but, like, I think, like, the food trucks this weekend have been on point. So we're going to shout out to another sponsor for USQ this weekend. It's Take Your Mark Productions.
Hey.
They're the ones who organize all the food trucks and stuff, and they did a great job.
Yo, they had a butterbeer food truck
is lit.
They had a butterbeer food truck out here. Once again, UCLA having to calm their bench down. They are livid about how many times the goal has been wiped off a board here.
All right, well, who's got the quaffle?
Because it disrupted the play, it probably will be Harvard. It'll be a turnover. And now, they're going to go for it.
They're running and gunning. All right.
We're down by, Harvard is down by 1. The set score is 170, and
No, they're only
UCLA.
down. They were at 140, so they're down 2.
Sorry. They're down by 1 to UCLA. One goal
God.
to tie it. This
Oh, so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
need 2 more goals. UCLA needs only 1. Okay, got it.
Everybody needs 1.
Don't stop. You're gonna.
The Harvard comeback continues. After pulling the Snitch, and Snitch on pitch to start this one off pretty quickly.
Mhm.
These Horntails are stuck around. I see how these guys gave Texas some trouble.
Yeah.
Back up top,
Mason
rotating
Krug
around. Now they're going to
looking
go
for
back to
something. Van Lyten trying to make something happen for Krug.
beaters down. Mason, Mason had his
Ooh,
legs slid
that is
into. Oh my gosh.
That is not what UCLA wanted on that
UCLA
possession.
going for the tackle.
Big
That's a
tackle.
jersey
That is
pull.
a pull. Yeah.
That's tough to not play advantage on that one again. That's in transition. They do have a beat. Wait, that's a chaser with a bludger in his hand.
Yeah.
I did not know Harvard had such a ferocious fan base out
You know,
here. They
it's
are
the north.
pumped.
There's a bunch of Northeast teams hanging out, and like the thing I love is the club teams supporting all the college teams in their region. Oh my God!
Oh, and Maddie is
no,
down.
no,
Hold
no,
on
no,
a second.
no,
We
no.
might have to stop here. Maddie's grabbing her head here. But yeah, we have a tie ball game. Another shot from Harvard. And Maddie is going to hop up here and walk off to the sideline.
Like
That's
a
big.
champ.
Yeah, hopefully she's going to be all right.
All right.
Next point wins.
UCLA calling a timeout, understandably so.
UCLA will take their 1 minute timeout. What a talk about holding on to that, right?
What are you telling UCLA if you're their coach?
UCLA, man, it just seems like that it's happened once. Okay, let me make a reference. Some of you know who Keanu Reeves is. He used to be in a movie a long time ago called The Replacements.
Okay.
In The Replacements, he's a former college quarterback. His arm gets like dislocated or whatever, and he can't do it. The NFL of this movie world that they live in goes on strike. They get Keanu Reeves' character to come back to play football.
Yeah.
And
You got 30 seconds to finish this analogy.
Sorry, yes. They have a whole conversation about how the team can come together. And he talks about quicksand. He's like, your greatest fear is quicksand. And somebody thinks he's talking about actual quicksand, and he's not. He's talking about how one mistake leads to the second mistake, leads to the third mistake, leads to the fourth mistake, and then before you know it, you're in over your head. You're in over your head. And right now, UCLA is in over their head. But the way that these guys have been playing out here, I think that they can overcome this. They just need one more goal. They scored with ease early on in this one, even before Snitch on pitch. They need one more. Harvard has gotten tougher, obviously, throughout the course of this game, and it has been very impressive to see.
Yeah, they absolutely have not given up, and that's why we're here now. All right, and we're live.
It looks like Harvard is going to pull off. They're going to go compressed 2-2 zone here, which means they're probably going to need somebody who's just going to drive in.
Coming up for UCLA. Michael Devarro.
And the spacing
Heading
is a
out
little
left.
bit closer than usual. Throw up front. Cooper's on the drive. And he gets taken down.
Ooh, that was net
Another-
contact,
yeah.
I think. I get it. We're all getting a little desperate, but oof.
Yeah, the desperation is definitely on that one when you know you just got to get him down sometimes, and it comes through.
But that's going to cost because that
Yeah.
is what we think it is. Then he has the quaffle right
so
there.
there's one. So the one thing that you can say that it actually pays off for is that one chaser's going to go down, but there are two chasers standing directly in front of that hoop. So Cooper's going to have to run around inside the Harvard keeper zone and try and avoid another tackle
Yeah,
with Harvard with a beater up front.
yeah.
So even if he tries to reset up top, there are two Harvard beaters waiting up there.
He might just take off and try and get some space behind.
And if you're
but
those
no, I
two
think he's gonna
chasers, you
shoot.
jump on Cooper.
Yeah, he is trying to get behind.
Yeah, they got him
They
beat.
stop him.
They
and
beat him again.
He's got the quaffle. Number 2
Van
for
Lyten
UCLA.
catches. That's out of
Caitlin
bounds,
Rupp.
and that's a turnover for Harvard. They get possession. She stepped out of bounds with possession of the
Ooh,
quaffle.
Caitlin-
Harvard is livid right
All right,
now.
a little chitter chatter. Everybody needs to take a deep breath. Look off to the distance. Look in the gorgeous mountains.
In the
calming breaths.
My biggest fear out of this Barcelos is nobody saw her step out of bounds. Even though we're standing right here and we
Yeah,
see it right in front of
that's
us,
not what they were
Harvard
looking
pointed
at.
out, yeah, they were overlooking at the beater play like they were supposed to, and the quaffle got way beyond all the referees, and hopefully
I'm not a ref. I just see what I see.
Bolo's got the ball in his hand.
Yeah, we'll see.
Layton's got the ball right here.
Yeah. Bottle Chandra does not look thrilled with whatever has been decided.
Once again, the gang tackling for Harvard was amazing on that last play.
I mean, you
Yep.
gotta, like, it's
By
all
the
or
way,
nothing.
led by Anna. Led
Yeah.
by Anna on that play.
And
Great
Nicolay
job.
crushing it.
Oh, by the way, 100% guarantee whoever loses this game is going to be out of it. Like, they're just going to be. Yeah.
I mean, it's been an intense game.
Yeah.
Two teams, like, that don't want to stop here.
Ball was going to try and reset to his keeper before he gets
Van Lyten's
beat.
going to try and snipe.
Yeah. Van Lyten's got those fast arms. We've seen that here today.
He's quick. Not quick enough.
Anna's got the ball. She's tracking back. And just so we're clear, they did not see her step out of bounds.
Anna Nicolay with the quaffle for Harvard.
Christian Barnes doing a good job of protecting the scorekeeper's table right now.
Yeah.
And the crowd getting into it here.
Yeah. We got some West Club
Lot
teams.
of
We got
space.
some Northeast Club teams, and they're both just cheering on the college squads. I love it. That's
UCLA sticking to being staggered.
Nicolay.
Harvard 9 seconds away from being at full power again.
Yeah. And that's probably why they're going so slow.
And UCLA's going to more than be happy to wait on them.
No, but
They've gotten bludger control just
Cooper
now.
Jared pressing.
Harvard just got bludger control, and they're back at full strength. No, they did not. They did not get the second ball. Sorry about that.
Really well done.
Yep.
This is game point.
Really patient play from Harvard.
Hey, ball on, ball on, ball on, ball on, ball on.
Oh, man. Now we're going to see UCLA get a little desperate here with the beater throws.
Gotta go,
A drive coming
Nice
in. They cannot
beat
let him
from
in
Jessica
shooting
Lee,
range. He
clearing the-
blocks
What
that.
a big block!
Excellent block up front.
And then
UCLA
Sammy Owing falls on it. Excellent.
beaters tracking back to make sure that quaffle is fully
All right,
protected.
Cooper Jared has the quaffle, moving it up.
And this is, if you're an NBA fan, this is basically you know exactly where this ball is. So it's straight up. This is straight up ISO. He just wants
Yeah.
he wants as many chaser on chaser matchups as he can get. He
Mhm.
wants all the beaters out, and he wants to go mano a
Yeah,
mano with
UCLA
all
has
the
control. Like, they got to use it. Don't be stingy with those
Cooper's
bludgers. Make
there.
an opportunity. Ooh, Cooper.
Behind.
And
Sammy
block.
Owing. Ooh, massive tackle.
Anna with another tackle,
Oh
and that's
my
a dive in front. Oh my God, that was so unnecessary.
Navarro with the quaffle now for UCLA, trying to make something happen. Going, and he finishes it if it's good, if it's good. We've been in this situation before where Navarro thinks he's got the game-winning goal, so let's give it a minute.
I hope the coaches have their Fitbits on so they can track all these steps from their bench to the center of the pitch. That was excellent. There were multiple really high-quality tackles. Cooper got
Intense.
stopped.
Let's just
Cooper
make
gets
sure.
stopped again up top.
Goal is good.
And that's
Michael
good.
Navarro finishes it for UCLA. Hello, everyone. Liz Barcelos here with a little bit of an update. Yes, it's still UCLA and Harvard. The game was appealed and suspended. And after going over all the info on the scorecard, talking to all the refs, talking to all the parties involved, including both teams, it has been decided that the game was suspended. We're bringing it back, and the teams are going to be tied, and so this will be golden goal. And so that's what's happening. The teams are getting ready to get back on the pitch. We're switching things up a little bit officials-wise. Got some fresh officials on the field. So yeah, this will be a very brief stream. Or maybe not. The way that game was going near the end and they were both stopping each other, I could be sitting here for a while. Anyway, one way or another, we're about to get started very shortly. Harvard headed towards the field. UCLA, I see heading in this direction as well with a little bit less of a quickness. Harvard just standing on the field now. All right, as a reminder for people who may have been jumping in on the stream a little late, the game was appealed. All the relevant information was reviewed. All parties were spoken to. It was decided a phantom goal was given to UCLA, And so both teams are coming back. Both teams are tied. Whichever scores the next goal wins. This is how they're handling that phantom goal that was awarded.
UCLA starts with bludger control. Harvard has quaffle.
All right, UCLA starting with bludger control, Harvard with quaffle. We'll see how crucial this ends up being. Chris LeCount is going to be the head ref for this brief continuation of this game. We've got a bunch of other HRs on as his ref crew, so definitely well officiated this very brief continuation, or maybe not very brief. Again, like I said, these teams were playing some knockout defense.
UCLA, a team that celebrated, already felt like they had the win in hand, and now has to come back out here and prove it again. That's tough for them.
Yeah, mentally, I think Harvard's in a better place. Like, second chance,
Exactly.
that's fired up. UCLA is like, oh, we got to do this again.
Exactly. Now we'll see if that Harvard defense that we saw in the first half of this game, or we're really
Oh, wow, Amadal is the head ref after all. How about that? Former head ref of the year, Alex Amadal.
they had to call the big guns in.
I mean, for this, I'm not surprised.
Harvard still working on stuff here. Going to sub a keeper out immediately to get
Oh,
Park
wow.
back into the game.
Quaffle being brought up by Bulwa.
And Bull's going to go to that right-hand side. Harvard's been utilizing this technique for most of their offense here, except that Anna
Here
is
it comes,
up
here it
top.
comes, coming in hot. Nicolay, no goal, no goal, no goal.
Park's running it down. It's a foot race here.
You got to
UCLA.
play until the whistle.
And Bull is going to try and get up and maintain
Van
possession.
Lyten creating chaos as he does. Oh, here comes Polk. Tosses it back or was stopped. Either way.
A
Ball on
great
the ground.
tackle
It's
by
picked up again by Harvard. Again to Polk. Big cackle, but the goal is good.
Cooper
And that's game.
absolutely amazing ending to this game.
I mean, I don't want to call it over until it is over.
Cooper
At
with
this
two-
point, we restarted the stream. We might as well let everybody see it play out. But Alex Amadal is not hearing from anybody. He says it's good.
UCLA going to the sideline because there still has to be the conference about how that game ended. But fantastic defensive hustle from Cooper on that play with no bludger help, scraped across the entire
But also
formation.
super props to Harvard because they had 3 attempts on
Right.
that. They did not give up
They played like it was the last play of the game.
because it was.
Boa went out there and scrubbed once again.
All right.
None of that's possible.
UCLA
Yeah.
coming out for the handshake line.
Wow.
Harvard is too. So yeah, it
what
is
a turn of
indeed
events.
over.